cool. Yesterday I was getting so deep into discount. Yes. Do you think we still continue with the 4 hour sell model? No, I don't think so because now that we had a delivery like this in the after hours yesterday, the sentiment has changed, right? So we got a shift here. Now we don't have the sell model still active in the market. All right, let's dive in. I'm gonna start with the top-down analysis first from the weekly. Let me use the other charts though. All right. So all right, cool. So on the weekly chart, we gotta pull back on both assets, obviously, using the daily dealing range. And on the weekly, I don't think we traced back all the way to this equilibrium of this range on Nasdaq. Same thing on ES. ES is much stronger. One thing to note on the weekly though, we still don't have a buy side liquidity confirmed yet, right? So you gotta wait for a swing high formation, three candle formation. So once this week closes below the buy side here, that confirms the Nasdaq's buy side liquidity. And then after that, we can work on the weekly chart. As of now, though, we don't have a framework just yet on the weekly. And ES already violated that high here, traded above it. So ES will require one more week to confirm a swing high. That one's gone down on the daily chart. On the daily, that was really interesting to watch yesterday. We had this dealing range on Nasdaq, and this is for ES. This was obviously was stronger. So on Nasdaq, what I wanted to see was this sell side acting as a drawn liquidity, but it failed to do so after yesterday's delivery in the after hours. It used this volume balance here, this gap, as a catalyst to go higher. And one thing to note here is also, it is not confirmed yet, but most likely we're going to be seeing after today's close an SMT divergence here between these lows and there. On one side, on ES didn't even violate this proportion block. So, I mean, I was going to mention this buy side if it didn't take it before New York opened, but it did so there's no reason to mention this. Now I'm waiting for ES to form a new daily dealing range. There's nothing much to do on ES here on the daily, whereas on the Nasdaq, if it wants to take the sell side, it really shouldn't go above this rejection block, which is not touched yet. So this level is what I would like to be aware of. Rejection block. Here. Yep. I want to see ES trading, Nasdaq trading into that rejection block and keep going lower. But we'll see. We'll see. It might just violate that rejection block and keeps going higher. We'll see what happens. What else is here? We have this little lower block here. At this level. Do I think it's gonna violate that lower block? It might violate it. May or may not. We have a big opening range gap today, so I would definitely be cautious today, because two things can really happen. We can either see a retracement, right, or it can just chop in the morning and give some sort of like larger swing in the afternoon session. And we have 9:45 news, red folder news. We'll see how market will use that information. I'm expecting volatility during support, so that will be my main focus for today. There's also I want to mention here as well. That's the propulsion block. Yes, opened above. It's one thing to note here. Take a look on the 4 hour. Tanam yellow folder as well. Existing home sales. Yeah. I mean, today main focus will definitely be after 10 a.m. That's for sure. Like once the news driver settles in, probably like 10:15 a.m. or something, then I'll be looking after actively an execution. So on the 4 hourly, we have an SMT divergence between assets. I don't think it's gonna long live. I think Nasdaq will keep pressing higher a little more, maybe like into this rejection block here. But as of now, we have an SMT divergence yet to be confirmed on the 4 hour chart. It's gonna confirm after today's close probably. And on the lows, hi, good morning, buddy. What do you think about this opening range gap? 300 points. Insane, right? So on the lows, on the 4 hour, we have this SMT divergence between assets, which was really the catalyst for us to go higher. But for precision, I want to see ES going a little bit lower, like into the sea of this tail right there. Didn't do so, but instead utilized the. Let me see if that's a rejection line. It's not a rejection line. Okay, technically it is, and just sent it higher. And because it violated all the PD areas here, like this fair value gap there, order block here, it broke above. So this is the market structure shift. The sentiment in market has changed. Same thing on Nasdaq. Shouldn't have violated this high for the sell model for these lows. It did so. So we'll see what happens. I'm expecting like price spending time a little bit in the premium area on the Nasdaq, and then if it really wants to go for the sell side, attacks it later on. Like first confirms this SMT divergence on the daily, right? Prints a swing high below this rejection block, and then maybe uses that as a catalyst to go to attack the sell side. I feel like it's gonna happen next month though. So once the monthly candle closes, because that means we're gonna have a monthly fair value gap below that low right here. So I'm expecting like monthly candle closes like this, forms a fair value gap there. Then Nasdaq rates that sell side on the daily into this monthly fair value gap and uses that as a catalyst to go higher. All right, let's see on the hourly chart. 3 minutes till market open. So on the hourly chart, yesterday, in after hours, what I noticed was, so let me delete that, this. You have this SMT divergence at the lows, right? Bullish SMT. So once the price rallies higher above the swing high on both assets, now the sentiment has changed, right? Once that happened, my eye went to this consolidation here, this one, which is essentially the original consolidation. So this high acted as a draw on liquidity yesterday in the after hours in the overnight session. This is a down close candle on the hourly, so it made this fair value gap below a breakaway gap, right? And used the higher fair value gap here to rally the original consolidation buy side and kept pressing higher. On the dealing range, from this high, this is our buy side, all the way to the low. That order block was really the last executionable level for this high here. Now that I'm looking at the hourly chart, though, we have a BPR, and stayed open yesterday, last week, right here. So I want to be aware of this level going into today's session. I want to see if price can rally there, creates an SMT for us to get into maybe shorts, maybe scalp shorts on 1 minute chart. You know, maybe it can form a 1 minute market maker sell model there. I'll be aware of that level going into today's session. Maybe this lower fair value gap, lower BPR as well here. This level. On ES though, it's really tricky on ES because since it's already at the highs, I would rather want the CES like below somewhere here to target the buy side for New York session, but no bueno. So I would be mindful of this dealing range on Nasdaq, right, and use this BPR to look for deep retracement on the hourly chart and utilize 1 minute to get an entry on the short side, short sells. Have a couple more fair value gaps there. Maybe just annotate them too. It's the higher one, and this one is the lower one. Market open now. So let's see if we can get manipulation down here or not. I would rather see a Judas swing up into this BPR and then selling off through pull it down. Take a look on the 15. On the 15 there's nothing just yet. Let's see if where are we at right now though. On the hourly chart we are at this fair value gap. A little breaker here. My main focus is that BPR though, not the breaker in this case. Let's go down to 5. No divergences just yet. Just yet. There's this range here on ES. Short-term dealing range. And we're trading below equilibrium. I want to see how it reacts there. For morning session, used to retrace price lower at equilibrium with the dealing range on Nasdaq, and then potentially expand. Yeah, that's what I like to see as well. That's my main framework going into today's session. I'm definitely not going to be a buyer at these levels. So on Nasdaq we have this hourly fair value gap here, whereas on ES these three consecutive down close candles should act as an order block. On the hourly though, let's see if it has a, yeah, there's this little order block there. Here. Should we hold the price above it? I'm gonna switch charts here. This is my main point of interest, the BPR for shorts. I don't know if we can get there today though. On the hourly, I want to see a retracement into the lower fair value gap here. There is also an old order block here, which could be actually reused for the buy side. Although I'm gonna mark it as an old order block. Alright, let's go down to lower time frames now. Four-hourly fair value gap on Nasdaq tapped to tick of the CE. Let's take a look at it. Here, let's look at CE. Let's go down to 1 minute. Yeah, that looks good. Looks clean. Not executionable though just yet, because like looking at the 4-hour chart, we have a lot of fair value gaps there, and on the 4-hour chart, it could literally just retrace down here and rally. I'm not expecting like collapsing or like violating all these fair value gaps on that 4-hour chart. And this order block should really be used for the up move. So one thing to note here though, on this swing leg, there are no swing lows just yet, so I'm expecting Nasdaq to form a swing low somewhere here, here, or maybe even down here, creating order blocks or something, like, and then rallying. That's my main game plan for today. I want to trade the pullback here, swing low. It's just tricky because you'll never know how further it can go. It can retrace, right? Pullbacks are dangerous if you're trading. 5-minute looks interesting on ES. So we have an SMT divergence at the highs there. We have a sell side here, right above the hourly fair value gap. Go down to 5. Okay. I mean, it's expected as choppy open. Market will definitely wait for 9:45 news before it moves. Nasdaq 15-minute rejection block was respected. It pains me that it didn't form an SMT to that of ES. Let's take a look at the rejection block here. Yeah, it also rallied into the C of this wick here. So that high for me is a very suspicious high now. Buy side, I'll annotate that here. So I want to be aware of this range also. It aligns perfectly with the hourly PD arrays. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Nasdaq rating the sell side into the lower fair value gap on the hourly chart into this range equilibrium or discount, and then runs this buy side. Too many drawings here. I'm, I'm gonna fix this so I can see it better. 1 minute. Okay, that looks better. There's a tiny little bit of inversion fair value gap there. Yes, seems like it's gonna form a 5 minute civvy. Let's see how Nasdaq acts to that. I'm gonna watch ES on the other screen. So while not ES is forming this 5 minute fair value gap, I want to see Nasdaq like below this Wix CE, and then see what happens from there. Rotate the sell side on ES. I want to see ES using this fair value gap as a catalyst to go lower. In the dealing range of ES, something like that. Range EQ. Now Nasdaq is trading into the wick. Let's see how it reacts at CE of it. Now, because we have a short-term SMT divergence at these highs here on the 5 minute, I really don't want to see Nasdaq violating that high. And because it's an internal structure SMT divergence, I wouldn't really rely on it. I would rather see SMT divergence in between, like from the buy side, like something like that, right? That would be, I would rely on that more. This high right there. That's a great reaction so far on Nasdaq. Should I say you're looking for long at 1 hour at the 1 hour average? I would be looking for longs, yes. Not yet though. I'm anticipating Nasdaq and ES printing a swing high on the hourly chart first, because we don't have that yet. needs to set the sell side, right? So using one of the hourly fair value gaps, um, let me pull it up here. Using one of those fair value gaps on the hourly chart, I want to see NASDAQ and also ES using those levels to form a swing low, quote unquote, a dealing range, like short-term dealing range. Now that it's rejecting the CE of the 1 minute wick, and ES is respecting that fair value gap on the 5 minute, I really want to see the sell side delivery. And these will come in 2 minutes, actually 1 minute. Can you explain why are you choosing that dealing range on ES instead the one which start from London session? So this is the short-term dealing range, right? On the 5 minute, you have this expansion uh, swing, right, from sell side to buy side, and right now we are within that range. And because I want to focus on scalping specifically for today, that's why I'm making my framework around it, right? And if I take a look at the London, so I'm going to go on the 60-minute, 1 hour chart. A 1 hour chart, because the buy side is rated, this would be your dealing range. From the low to high here, that would be your dealing range. On the 15-minute, it looks the same here. This is the most recent the most recent expansion range, right? That's why I'm making myself aware of this range instead of this one right there. Because the likelihood of ES coming down here, into one of these fair value gaps and rallying higher is more likely. Yeah. All right, Nasdaq took the buy side. ES is failing to do so. This is what I wanted to see in the first place. I'll delete these things here. The SMT at this high instead of the internal structure, right? Now it seems like ES is rejecting there. Maybe because it's the last, exactly, it's the last expansion leg. Let's see if ES can rate this high or not. I would prefer if it doesn't do so, but we'll see. For two reasons, I wouldn't consider this fair value gap as a long entry. It's basically because I might be wrong though, but it's basically because we potentially have an SMT divergence at these highs, right? And this could take the price to the sell side there. And we also have an SMT divergence on the hourly chart, and now the daily is not confirmed, but it's still there. So this fair value gap could work, but it's a low probability fair value gap for me. You could consider here the likelihood of ES running this buy side. I would rather wait for the BPR, this range, to get tagged on NASDAQ. Then I'll look for shorts. Seems like ES is gonna take it though. There you go. Make it shorter here. Now ES has a breakaway gap on the 1 minute. This fair value gap is now a breakaway gap because you printed an order block and confirmed the order block, right? The last move here. Nasdaq is up 400 points on the day. That's insane. Look at standard deviations of ES actually. Looking at this, the standard deviation projection of the most recent breaker here, ES, which is these up close candles. So I want to see a sensitivity at the -1 standard deviation. Let's see. Now it feels like we have an original consolidation on the 15-minute chart here. I'm going to delete this range for a second. So I'm anticipating this as an original consolidation level. Something like this. We're almost at BPR. Hey, what are the chances of Nasdaq going on the buy side though? Like, I mean, we are already up 400 handles on the day, 400 points. And that means it needs to run another 100. I don't know. I don't think it will. I've never seen Nasdaq closing like 500 points on the day. Never happened. Yes, so far has a great reaction at the minus standard deviation, -1 standard deviation there. Let me just annotate that. And that's algorithmic delivery, as you can see the bodies. And the reason I'm looking at the breaker standard deviation, which is, I'll be covering this in a class, is because based on my back tests and the data I've collected, breaker standard deviations are very precise. So I'm using that instead of manipulation standard deviations. Kind of an unorthodox approach, but I like it more. NVIDIA up 15%. Wow. So you're basically constantly monitoring and updating your last 15-minute expansion leg for your short-term dealing range. Thanks. Now that this buy side is gone, hold on, let me just pull it. Now that that buy side is rated, we have a new swing high, right? So from this high, this low to this high is your new dealing range once it confirms this as a swing high on the 15-minute. But yes, also smaller BPR you annotated earlier. Yes, on the hourly chart, the lower here, oops, the lower BPR there, here. This is also algorithmic delivery. If you believe in like buying and selling pressure, how are you going to explain this or this standard deviation rejection? You know, let's see what happens here. I really want to see Nasdaq ripping through this fair value gap, violating it completely with 1-2 candles on the 1 minute, and maybe retrace back up into here. Right now we have a failed order block. This one should be reused. Needs to react to that level, this level specifically, and runs the sell side from there. Here, sell side. We just pull that back. Same thing on ES. So order block failed. And then fair value gap within it. I want to see it retracing back up there and running the sell side. This level is also a breaker on a lower time frame. So if I go on the 32nd, you'll see that as a breaker block here. This is failed OB. Should really hold it. A little BPR in that area as well. Let's see what happens. This fair value gap is violated now, so I'm gonna just annotate here. And the sell side right there. I'm gonna delete this gray box so we can see it better. Let's see what happens here. Yes, reacting there as of now. Go one contract short actually. Let's do that. What time is it? 9:55. I'll wait actually. I'll wait one more minute. I'm considering this up close candle as a 5-minute manipulation, like this candle's manipulation. So I'm expecting this entire move as a wick on the 5-minute. This is the open price of 5-minute candle. So I want to see trading below it within the next minute or two. Yes, looking really strong still. Once it trades below it and closes the candle, this will turn into an order block. Failed OB. Do you see the bottom of the candle? Since you'll use the top of the OB. So how you'll do this is basically on the buy side of the curve, you'll use the open price for bullish order blocks, right? And when it fails, it'll be used as a reused, right, on the sell side of the curve. Once it's being reused, you need to be aware of the close of that candle, so the lower portion of that candle. That area should be the sensitive area, because essentially that area is the breaker block on a lower time frame. Do you remember the wicks? That's why I'm looking at the wicks when it comes to breakers. Oh, yes, rejected. Yes, violated that fair value. That's interesting. I'm thinking maybe it wants to sweep the high one more time, or rejecting at the mean threshold, I guess. Seems like it's rejecting the mean threshold. Look on the 15-minute, 5-minute. Thinking turtle soup, then expand lower. Yeah, I think it's gonna get down to that, the hourly charts, PDRAs, or point of interests. Let's see if 15-minute candle closes above the buy side or not. I can delete this now. This is the IFED area, or golden zone. Like it could just manipulate into that level and go lower. But I also want to see price respecting the failed OB. So I want to see this candle closing below it, just like that. Wick and close below. Okay, this is the yellow folder news. I'm seeing this as a manipulation. It should really go lower now. Check this dealing range here. I want to see this candle closing, preferably below, just like that, below the failed OB level, and outside of this upper fair value gap, just like this. I might go one contract short here, actually. With that touch, I'll go one con short. That's a strong one. Now I want to see this candle closing below the upper fair value gap. If it doesn't close below, the chances of me getting stopped is high likely. Like this is what I don't want to see. It could wick, but essentially this candle should close below it, or else I'm gonna get stopped. I want to see it closes below it. Close within. I mean, the chances of me getting stopped here is now more likely because that candle closed within that fair value gap. I'm gonna wait for it. So essentially, I want to target this sell side and maybe like could just reject here. If it moves below or within this fair value gap, lower fair value, I'm gonna set my stop loss at break even, make it a risk-free trade here because it really shouldn't fuck around within this upper fair value gap anymore. Just like that. I'll wait a bit more. Now I'm going to de-risk my position. It really shouldn't come back up here again. We have a sell side there. I want to be aware of that level. Now if it comes back up here again, that means I'm likely to be wrong, or a market will chop around, go back and forth, and I don't want to be in a position in those conditions. That's why I put my stop loss at break even there. And the fact that we two body candle closes within the upper fair value gap is not a good sign usually. So this is the first level that it should really rip through. And I don't want to see an SMT divergence at that level. If I think it's going to create an SMT there, I'm going to collapse the trade. Let me see the difference between these two. 7 handles, 6 handles. I'll put my stop loss here now. Shouldn't violate the lower fair value gap / old BPR. I prefer it leaves this fair value gap open, or forms a fair value gap, closes up close, and doesn't trade into it. I would prefer to see that. I would prefer this staying open and being a breakaway gap. Didn't be violated this, that's fine. That means the move is not strong enough. I would have preferred that candle not touching into that fair value gap. Now if it violates this low here, order block, and closes below it, I'm going to move my stop at the high of the last fair value gap. I don't like the wick on the 15-minute though. It doesn't look as good. I don't want to see. I don't like the fact that it's trading outside of that fair value gap. Got stopped there. Basically at break even. And the reason I moved my stop basically here is because in the event of price coming up into the higher fair value gap, it's making the move weaker, and I don't want to be in a weak moves, right? Because essentially, if you look at the 5-minute, it is actually in a range right now. It's ranging, and you know, I don't know what it's going to do, if it's going to break out, if it's going to break lower. It's interesting though, looking at ES still respecting the fair value gap there. Seems like it's setting the stage up for expansion lower. Now we have an SMT divergence also at highs. I might re-short this maybe if I get a price action that I want to see. There's also 5 minute rejection block there. This level, also 1 minute order block. I'd prefer Nasdaq wicking into that level than breaking down right now. Because otherwise, then what's the point of this up move, right? I'm gonna annotate this as an order block actually. Since we are on the 1 minute chart. I mean, to me, this was worth a shot. You know, I got stopped out in break even basically, but it was worth a shot because the risk reward was there. You know, here my stop was 12.50, somewhere here, right? To make 70 handles in profit, it was worth a shot. You know, I do believe it'll rate the sell side. Um, so you got to be patient here a little bit. We also had standard deviation 4 of the 15 minute and within 4 hourly fair value. Yeah. Great execution, brother. I never used to pay attention how price was reacting to the fair value gap created above. Yeah, so essentially what I wanted to see here is these two candles closing outside of the higher fair value gap. In the event of that, I probably had more chance, like market should have probably rated this sell side here immediately instead of retracing back into that order block and rejection block on the 5 minute. The SMT divergence is not confirmed yet though. I'm waiting for a swing high. ES is reacting beautiful here at the CE of the fair value gap. I can delete this fair though. It's not being used anymore. I'll do this. Oh, we have a swing high. It's about to confirm it in 10 seconds. And Q is definitely stronger than I expected though. Just a side note there. There is an SMT divergence at the highs here. If it really wants to run the buy side, sell side rather, this high should be safe. So it shouldn't really violate that high. Gonna take a look at the 15-minute wicks CE. It's the same level. This level is the most it should go. It shouldn't go higher than that. If it wants the sell side level here. I joined late today. I was looking at the price action end of day yesterday and so much manipulation. Yeah, FOMC, typical FOMC, whether it's FOMC minutes or not. Same deal usually. Morning chop, then big moves, both higher and lower, stopping out everybody basically. Welcome and good morning. I'm waiting for this 15-minute candle close right now. It's about to close in 2 minutes. take a look at this range here. Yeah, I violated this high now. There's a bullish SMT at the lows. Not looking good for shorts as of now. Especially if the 15-minute candle closes above the C of this wick. No, it looks kind of like 50-50 here. I'm still favoring the sell side here. Like, we have this SMT at lows, then we have this SMT at highs. I don't know. Not the best price action. 15-minute close below that CE though. I really want to see energetic move lower to the sell side. See what stock market is doing. Tesla is flat, AMD up 9%, Amazon 2%, TSM almost 5%. Wow, that's cool. ACMR, wow, 7%. Nvidia, 15. To me, the conditions are 50-50 right now. This could really like just rally this high right now, or it could just go over as well, like 50-50. Forex, I've observed that a pair which makes higher low, bullish S&T correlated pair takes out low is stronger, and the pair which makes lower high is weaker. And long and short based on the pair which did not take out liquidity has helped me in understanding strengths and weaknesses. Is it not? Yeah, it's same. It's the same deal. Traditionally, what you want to do is because Nasdaq, I'm sorry, ES is making made a lower low here, whereas Nasdaq did not. That means Nasdaq is stronger, right? So if you want to long one or the other, you would choose Nasdaq. Vice versa for the bearish case, ES made a lower low, lower high. Nasdaq did not, right? So ES is weaker. If you want to short, you should short ES. But with me, I would rather so it's because I'm so used to trading Nasdaq now. ES feels very slow. What I like to do is if I'm targeting this sell side here, I shorten. Excuse me, guys. 1 second. I like to short Nasdaq and be mindful of whether we get an SMT at that low with the ES or not. If we get an SMT, I will collapse the trade instead of closing the trade at the sell side, if that makes sense. Kind of an unorthodox approach, but we have another SMT here on the 1 minute. Oh, we're taking out 70% of last week's range. Bloody hell. Yes, man. And Nvidia so hacker just programming their AI to cook the books. I think it's because Nancy Pelosi is in calls. They're really running the stock. 3 dry, 1 minute Nasdaq. Yep. 1, 2. Yep. 3 dry. Nothing actionable though. Now this side should be safe. Thanks. Regardless of whatever I said, I still only prefer to long short EU as it's very clean. I can't stand forex pairs, dude. That's just me though. I feel like this week has been absolutely brutal. I could never see any forex pair behave as cleanly on 1 minute or even 5 minute, for that matter. Yeah, even on daily it doesn't look clean. It's like too much back and forth action, which is why I don't trade it. Hey, don't say that. It's just what it is, man. I would take in lots of L's if it wasn't for you navigating through pretty much a minefield filled tour. I mean, yeah, why would you want to be in a position either long or short in this price action, right? Like, there's no point. Let's see how this reacts here. Yes, fair value gap. I want to see ES tagging that level. And just like that, tagging that level, Nasdaq staying within this fair value gap, closing below it though. I want to see this swing high. Not getting traded into anymore. I feel like it's gonna be stuck in this range until 11. Are we inside of a daily breaker? Take a look. I don't think we have a breaker yet on the daily though. Yeah, there's no breaker just yet on the daily. I mean, if you're talking about, yeah, well, no bearish breaker, no bullish breaker as of now. If we were trading below here, that this low, this down close candle would have been your breaker. See the stocks in the meantime. We're pretty much flat there for Tesla today. Do you guys have any stock requests? I can take a look at it while we're waiting for this price action. Or forex pairs. Doesn't have to be stocks. Sage? Is that a stock? Sage. Oh, I hate this. I'm gonna do it this way. One of the UK stocks. Okay, let's take a look 1 second. Okay. I'll do this way. Put it here. Sage. Is this the right stock? Sage Therapeutics Incorporated, Nasdaq. Holy. Looks like crypto chart. Holy. Did they like find cure for cancer and like lobbyists are shorting the stock or what? What's going on here? Sage FTSE. I don't see it though. I don't see it. Let me just change the country maybe. Oh, LSE. Okay. Is this the one? Wow. I mean, I would definitely not do anything until it comes down into the weekly fair value gap. Seems like it's time for a pullback in this area. I wouldn't do anything before that. It's just because it is already in all-time highs, right? And consolidating on the weekly, like almost 2 months of consolidation. I would expect manipulation into the discount area first, if you want to be a buyer. Yeah, nothing much on the daily, just accumulation. Ranging price action here. Yeah, I'll be mindful of this daily gap as well. Nasdaq is going higher. What's going on there? Car will be a good buy below 14. Buy another stock. I know. Good buy below 14. Let's see. I would be cautious with this one just because this might be hold on, where's my here? This might be the manipulation to rate the buy side, and you have this order block there, right? Shouldn't have really like have this kind of reaction after buy side is taken. As long as this order block is respected, though, you can expect this moving higher. It seems like it'll just violates that area. Because on the south side, like the order block here, respected. They overlapped one fair value gap after rating the buy side. Then a second one is also violated, so I would be cautious. It might go for the south side here, on weekly level. There's also, however, if it wants to run higher, this level here, this buy side at 23, I think. Yeah, 23, 24 should be the drawn liquidity. This is breakaway gap. Might bounce from there. But like again, like I said, these fair value gaps, the fact that these fair value gaps got violated doesn't look good for buys as of now. So I would expect either consolidation within the breakaway gap, sets the stage for a buy model, or turtle soup this low and then rally. Looks like this area though is the drawn liquidity. Depends on how it takes out that high. It might go for a higher target. So this one right there, 27. He's like a soup movie, yeah. Since the monthly open of February, we pretty much just pumped like a month of manipulation only. Daily VI is so huge by me. Yep. We're not sure if your screen is frozen, but we can't see what you're doing. Oh, Discord. Oh my God. Hold on. That is bad. Um, gotta change the window. Should be able to see it now. Thanks for pointing that out. So what I was saying, I'll go over it again. For Carnival. Perfect. So what I was saying is, after a buy side sweep like that, it shouldn't have really failed two fair value gaps, right? But it did so. So I would expect either going down into this breakaway gap and consolidate there, sets the stage for buy model, or it could really turtle soup the low to run the high later. But before that, it should really consolidate below that low. It's not gonna just like rally and retrace or like reverse. And for the target, I was saying this level here, this consolidation at 23s, 24s, looks like a great drawn liquidity, and depends on how it rates that high, it could target the 27 area. So if it after the rally, if it stalls above it and consolidates, then you could expect a deep retracement. If it rips through it and keeps going higher, the 27s looks good. 27s into this BPR area could act as a draw. But as of now, I wouldn't want to be a buyer. I would either wait for the breakaway gap or a turtle soup. This is on the weekly though. The good thing is, since time is fractal, right? What you're gonna have is at weekly PD arrays, you're gonna have either 4 hourly or daily confirmations before you pull the trigger, and that's important, especially if you're swing trading. Now I gotta go through that UK stock as well then. What was it? Sage? Sage, that's one. So I was saying, like, since it's already at all-time highs, right? Let me go back. All-time highs, and it's been in consolidation for almost like 2 months here. There's nothing much to do in this price action. You don't want to be in it. What you want to see is you have a dealing range from the low to high there, and you have a discount array, right? You would expect, or I would expect, this is consolidation here, manipulation into that fair value gap, and rallying higher. And on the daily, at that fair value gap, you have a gap. So I would expect that gap to get filled as in the form of a manipulation to rally higher. It's a tricky one though, because it's already at all-time highs. I'm assuming you want to just like buy it and hold kind of trade, I believe, regular. This range is almost for like accumulation 2 months, consolidation 2 months consolidation. Don't want to be in position while price is just going back and forth, trading in a range. I missed some from £5, so I'll take some profits soon. £5. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I would definitely take some off. In stock trading, what you guys should do is, if you're trading stocks or shares, you should really be taking partials a lot. And when you make profit, let's say you made $1,000 profit, move that money into another asset, right? That's how you accumulate. Because I have friends, like, they like to hold. Like one of my friends, He's been in this stock. I'm gonna pull the weekly. He's been in this stock. He doesn't know anything about trading or whatever. He just bought it just because. He bought it like somewhere here, knife catched, and held the position throughout this entire price action, right? And last week at earnings, it just pumped, and he texted me. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm up like this much. What should I do?" And I'm like, "Dude, first of all, you shouldn't have like just waited for this entire price action, right?" And it seems like the draw on liquidity looks like 132. So set a limit order there, take partials, take some off, take some profit, and move that profit into another asset. And that's what I told him, because he also has stocks like SQ. I'm gonna put it here. He also has stocks like this, and his average. So now SQ is trading at $67, right? His average is like above 200. So he bought somewhere here or here, something like that, and he's been holding it, right? But instead of like taking partials at this high here, because he was in somewhere there, he held it, and now he's basically like 90% loss, and he doesn't want to close it for a 90% loss. If he was to take partials at the highs or something, instead of like holding it for hopium, he would have moved that money into another asset, or maybe shorted the market, or whatever the case is, right? So always, always, always take partials no matter what. Ouch. Yeah, exactly. Ouch. Just for in Q, we inverted the fair value gap. I'm gonna move back to Nasdaq. Let's do this. Let's see what's going on there. BPR is rejected again. That's good, but not the best, because ES has this breaker there. It should really be respected like this level here. You know what? I'm gonna delete everything. Um, this level shouldn't be traded back into anymore. On Nasdaq, now the new dealing range is slightly higher. There's a little BPR there, which should really act as a low risk sell. Now that it moved away from this level, it shouldn't really come back. It should just lower one sidedly to the south side. Let's see what we are missing on the 5. The only thing I don't like about this price action is the fact that we don't have an SMT at highs. Maybe with YM. Yeah, YM is much weaker. I want to see price trading below this OB first. And respecting that level from below. Do you care about YM for SMT or not really? Um, Sometimes I do. Not necessarily, but like I would prefer seeing SMT in between ES and Nasdaq. But if I'm like really bearish and I don't see an SMT divergence at a POI, then I look for YM. I don't see any SMT in NQ. Yeah, there's no bearish SMT. There is with YM though. So this OB failed. Now I want to see price trading below it. And target the sell side here. And Q really needs to keep up the pace and catch ES. This is the moment we've been waiting for exactly. This whole price action though, like this accumulation and consolidation and the manipulation higher, is just ugly. Let's see if it gets back above here. Now that I'm looking at the 30-second, this side should be safe. And then there's an order block here. Also should be safe. Let's see what's the risk from CE. 17. There's a breaker block there. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. Felt like the cleanest action we've had all week for me. Yeah, this move though, like not the prior, like this move is kind of clean, yeah. We have the order block there. Here. I want to see price violating above it. So I want to see this fair value gap's upper portion stay open. This portion. Let's go to wick though, but you know. 'Also, it's in let me just mark the range EQ. So anything above that level, you could look for shorts. Anything below that level, you should stay out of it. One minute till 5:45. Oops. Put that down in the chat. I don't want to see price fucking around within this fair value gap anymore. I should really like deliver one-sidedly from there. Just like that. Now, if you're in a trade, this size should be safe. So stops above it should be safe. Can you explain why? Because we close below 50% and have an order block. Exactly. So once this up close candle is low, is violated like that, this is a confirmed order block, right? And in the bearish order flow, you would like to see up close candles being respected, right? So this candle should really secure the buy side here, which also IFED, meaning this it's a strong move. Unless it wants to chop, it shouldn't get up there. So let's say if I was to be in a trade here, let's say I shorted this reused order block, right? It moved like that. Once this candle confirms the order block, I would put my stop loss here, and I wouldn't be concerned about the about getting stopped or whatever. That's risk-free trade from there on. The most it should go is the mean threshold of that order block, which is the mid level. So that level is the most it should go. It's forming a bearish SMT there with the S. So bearish SMT into the breaker, that should really send it lower. I would like to see 5-minute candle close as an up close candle, and the next 5 minutes just breaking lower, making that an order block on the 5 minutes. So these higher fair value gaps on the 5 minute act as breakaway gap. Here we go. Now the 5 minute candle closed. Let's see what happens there. Yes, 5 minute. I want to see those fair value gaps above as a breakaway gap. That would be better for the short positions. So the C of the previous candle's wick, this level, should be the highest level for a retracement for the current 5 minute candle. I'm here, just watching this chop. There's nothing much to comment here, so I'm just waiting for it to break lower. What I'm waiting is in the next 2 minutes. I want to see this low, price moving below that low, so it confirms the order block on the 5 minute. I didn't short Fabio, or not trading today. Along and targeting what? I don't know, man. I don't think. I mean, we're up like 400 handles on the day though. That's the thing, like, because I've never seen Nasdaq moving 500 points in a day. Hmm. Yeah, and that's my draw on liquidity also. Like RTH is below the sell side. That's what I would target as a short, anyways. Like scalp, 1 minute scalp kind of thing. That makes sense. Like trading here and then rally. All right, it's now or never. So the 5 minute order block is not confirmed, but we are still below the C of the wick. Let's see what happens with the 1 hour candle open. Oh, violate it. think overall this week was hella boring. What do you think, Fabio? Because all the deliveries, all the morning deliveries came before 10 a.m. pretty much. And today we had a large range gap overnight, which makes the morning rather choppy. Market makers didn't want us to win this week. Yeah, that's for sure. This week didn't have a great setup during silver bullet session at least. Yep. It's basically because all the deliveries happened before 10 a.m. Pretty much everything. Like Monday, I don't remember Monday actually. Monday was a holiday, right? So Tuesday, the delivery was at New York Open. Same thing on Wednesday. And Thursday, we already opened 300 points above yesterday's close. So right now we traded into the 5 minute fair value gap. We can delete this. Equal highs there. Tap into premium one more time. I scalped the overnight session for 20 points last night. That is great. I love that. Sometimes I really wish that I could trade London session. I don't know where you guys from, but like for me, London session starts or Silver Bullet is at midnight to 1 a.m. It's really hard to wake up at 6 or 5 more in the morning every day and just stay awake at midnight. Closing my trade price is chopping and silver session finish for preserve my capitals day. That's the smartest thing you can do, literally. This could still move, this could still deliver the south side, but like what's the point of being in a price like this? Whether it's a long position or a short position. Same thing, same chop. Are you in LA? Nice, I'm in LA too. How do you like waking up at 6 in the morning every day? It sucks, yeah. Especially this past couple weeks, it's been raining. It feels like as if we're living in London or something. I'm in Germany. It's plus 6 hours from New York time, so London session is for me nice in the morning. Yeah, I bet. I would love to be in Europe right now and just sipping through my espresso in Italy or something and trading New York Open in the afternoon. That would be so cool. Wait, it's 8 a.m. right now for me. Yes, it is 8 a.m. I mean, there are good upside and downside to that though. So usually, if I take a trade in the morning, I'm done by now. So I'm done by 8, right? That's a good thing. Then I can do whatever I want during the day. But the downside is I gotta wake up at 6, the latest, or 6:15, the latest, so I can be ready for today, for the New York morning session. You have the whole day ahead of you. Yeah, that's the only thing I like about being in the West Coast and trading New York. I'm 7 p.m. Nice. That would also be my dream to trade and live in Italy. Yeah, man. I really want to move to South Italy or something. I think you'll love Sardinia. I've been there. It was beautiful. My Italian friends always recommended that island. The question is though, if you would get bored over time or not. Yeah, I'll be bored. I like the cold. Who likes the cold, bro? Come on. SMT at spot SPX and Nasdaq on 1 minute. We have it here too, I think. I mean, left doesn't equal lows, but let me take a look at the micros. MES. Nope. Take a look at the hourly chart. Yeah, I mean, there's no point being in a position when hourly is looking like this. Like, in either direction. It's just like wicks to the downside, then to the upside. Bodies are stuck in a small range. No point of being in a position right now. It seems like we have this order block there, here. We have the propulsion block there. $15-minute, nothing here. 5 minute, we have IFBD fair value gap here, accumulation fair value gap, this one, and a breaker there, which should really respect this level here on the 5. Do you trade 9:30 opening? Sometimes I do. If I see something like super clean, if I have like high conviction from higher time frame as well, if it's also in the direction of the higher time frame order flow, I do sometimes. I take cold shower every morning to wake up. Nasdaq SM2 looks like they're going up. I don't know. It's like too much liquidity down below here. Here. Way too suspicious. These lows are way too suspicious. Same thing with Nasdaq. Here and these lows. Way too suspicious for me to be in a long position. I would expect a manipulation first. Something like that. Or even better, the sell side. Are you muted? I believe I'm not. Okay. I prefer hot showers got a cold plunge and it's fucking frozen. And then fucking froze, so I haven't been able to use it. That's funny. Guys, by the way, I don't know if you know, but if you have a My Final Features account, um, now they're having a competition in March. So if you have a evaluation account bought in February, you can join for free. Make sure to check that out. Personally, I think I'll be joining the competition just for fun.